Hello, and welcome to Hockey on Tap podcast. This is episode 64, season 3. Sorry, I am your host, Bill Dean, and of course, here are my two co-hosts, Steve and Schwim. What was that?
Missing one.
By the way? Obviously three co-hosts, right? So she counts, Sarah.
And Melvin.
You're missing one also.
Oh yeah, we're Melvin. Yeah,
He's officially on the title.
He is. We are brought to you by Primetime Radio. Eliminated before preseason, I guess we were. We're brought to you by Sam Wu, courtesy of Primetime Radio, and you can find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Apple and Google Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Please leave us a 5-star review if you would be so kind. Gents, what are we drinking?
Look what I got.
Who's going first? Steven, go ahead. You go first.
I got to figure this out first.
There you go.
CBS. Courtesy of Mr. JJ.
Oh, nice.
I think I'm almost certain I've drank this on the podcast before, so you probably all know my rating, but I'm going to pour it in a glass.
Yep. Ooh.
It's delicious.
Go for it.
Very nice of you to do that. Schwim?
I think you want me to go. I think I'm going to switch it up this week and go with something that I drank last week. Same thing. Zigmeister Lilith.
You're switching it up by going with the same thing.
Yep.
Ooh, look how dark.
Am I the only one going with a new beer? All right.
I mean, it's been a while since I had this.
And I think I just got my taste back, so I can taste it.
Oh, that's
Plus
good.
it's
You should
autumn.
get something definitely heavy.
Well, this might be more winter.
I am going with Modest Brewing Co. out of Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Schwim, check your text.
Uh-oh.
Check your text. Double raspberry end layer, and it's a double fruited goza.
I'm sure there's lactose in it.
You want me to tell you what's in it? I'll tell you what's in it. It is a little frothy, so I'm going to assume there's definitely lactose. Oh, shit, no. Fruited goza with malted wheat, Pilsner malt, sea salt, and double raspberry. I could have saved this for you. Sorry, guy.
Yeah.
What happened? Schwim? We just lost Schwim?
No, Schwim's got some technical support he's got to deal with.
Okay. Schwim's on technical duties.
Yes.
So, I thought his mic was connected, but I guess not. All right. So, let's get to what's on tap for today's episode. Here's our weekly snapshot. I do have the little girl with me. Mom is on their way home. But the Kraken win their first preseason game.
Look at that.
Yeah.
I'm not paying attention to you. I'm enamored by my beer.
They beat the Vancouver Canucks.
Yeah.
So the rivalry is already 1-0 Seattle. That's
Who scored their first goal in preseason history?
Riley
William
Sheahan.
Yeah, that'll be the only goal. Actually, he probably won't even make the team.
No, you don't think he'll make the team?
No, he probably will. He will because the team's bad.
Yeah, if as a fourth liner, maybe even like a third. The dress rehearsal was cool for the Kraken. Fans were crazy for the team during the intro. They played Lithium, so that was pretty good. Yeah, I mean, overall,
Nirvana,
it's going to be Nirvana. I do believe that it's going to be a huge boon for the league. They're going to get tons of ratings upticks as well as equipment, jersey sales. So it's going to be good. It's going to be fun to have this team in this division, this Western division for the Pacific. They're going to have really good rivals with Vancouver, with Edmonton and those West teams. But yeah, so they get their first win. Jonathan Drouin also plays in his first game since his leave of absence last season to deal with mental health. So we do wish him well, and it's pretty cool that he's back, and all the players are very excited for him. I know he deals with a lot of pressure being a former top pick. I think it was number 2 overall, or was he 3?
I believe.
Remember. 3. So I know he's kind of brought that everywhere where he's been. Teams have been very interested in making sure that to try to get the best talent out of him, and hopefully this is the start of a good second half of his career. On the go ahead.
No, it's just celebrity. I guess celebrities, athletes, anybody who's in the spotlight, they always seem like a. I don't know, like a.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hey, thank goodness, yes, we can, and thankfully you got a shirt on. We're all pleased.
Thank God.
I don't know what you guys.
Where I'm going with this. We're
talking
Jonathan
about
Drouin and his
Jonathan Drouin, his first game back.
mental health. I mean, even
about my T-shirt.
Huh?
You said, "Thank God I have a T-shirt on." I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, you ruined my train of thought.
Let's go here. Yeah, you were talking about Jonathan Drouin.
Oh, so often, anybody with fame just seems like they're impenetrable to any sort of, not mental illness, but mental illness and things like that. And it's just, you got to know that these people are human. Some of these hockey players, especially those high picks, are usually thrown into the league really quick. They're just kids, and your mental health is important no matter who you are. So I'm glad he took the time to take care of himself, and I wish him a lot of luck going forward.
Absolutely. I mean, you think about it, right? These guys, 18, 19, 20 years old, come to the league, and then you have old men and fans telling them they're shit, and they're just ripping on them for their play, and it's got to be taxing. I can only imagine. So yeah, we wish him all the best. Schwim, we did talk about the Kraken in their first preseason game win. Riley Sheahan, first ever goal. It was a pretty cool sight.
Brendan Tanev's player profile pick.
Yeah,
it's another great one.
I mean, he's going to keep getting.
He's got to do that every year from now on.
Yes.
Yeah. I want to see more and more people do stuff like that.
Yeah,
I want to see like everybody come out of the wood and do something like that.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a special guest on tonight's podcast. I don't know if you guys are. No, we're gonna just pan over a little bit.
Oh, hello, Mim.
Oh, she's enamored by the cords moving.
Very nice.
No.
Penn's Zach Aston Reese test positive for COVID. He's going to be day-to-day.
Damn cats. I can't.
Cats and babies. Look at this. Yeah, I mean, we got all sorts of things.
All right, guys. I'm not coming on the podcast anymore. I'm just going to run the camera of them.
I think it should just be an endless loop of Melvin and Mim.
So,
yeah,
Steve,
that'd be a lot better.
A positive I did see. I guess Crosby was skating this weekend. So
he's been skating. I mean, he had wrist surgery, so it doesn't mean he can't skate. So it's nothing to. Timetable is the same. I don't think there's. I think they said he's going to miss probably at least the first 2 weeks of the season. But yeah, I mean, it's always encouraging to see them, active and not like out of the. Even though they tried their damnedest to keep reporters away, they still snuck some footage in there. So.
Yep.
Yeah, it's always good to see him skate.
A former Penn, James Neal, is looking to bounce back with St. Louis Blues. So we'll see how his career goes. But, I always liked Neal. I think you guys always kind of like Neal. He's a good power forward, rugged player. He made hockey fun. So that, hopefully he does well and he makes a team if possible and he's effective.
Steve's brother was a big James Neal fan.
Yeah, he was.
I don't know if he still was.
He was. I think he was collecting either player tees or jerseys from. He loved him in Dallas, and then he loved him in Pittsburgh, and of course he went to Nashville, Vegas, Edmonton. I was having this conversation. Granted, this is off topic, but maybe a brief talking point. You guys want to talk about? We talk about players like, for instance, like Sidney Crosby, how he makes other players and everyone around him better. And we're talking about James Neal specifically and how he's on this PTO with St. Louis, and it's like. Does Connor McDavid really make other players around him better? Do you think?
I absolutely think he does, yeah.
I don't, but you don't see it like the way, like, no, players aren't producing points, like, in the way that, a Crosby thing where, he makes Kunitz like one of the leading goal scorers in the league, Pascal Dupuis, irrelevant players, basically. He turns them into, almost all-stars, but in Edmonton, you have McDavid, you have Draisaitl, and then the next highest point scorer is like 45 points away.
I think it's because McDavid is.
McDavid's the engine. I'm not gonna dispute his super talent, but
Crosby does like a lot himself, but he's like, I don't know how to describe this. It seems like he's. I don't know. I would say probably dishing the puck more and setting up guys more and setting up plays and then having other guys finish it. Where McDavid is like driving the play the entire time and he's finishing it himself.
Right.
Yeah. So I don't think he's really
I'm trying to find his last list of line mates.
I don't think he specifically makes other players better. I think he, like you said, he's the driving force behind that offense. And, he's a super talent. And, of course, players get points by osmosis being around him. But you don't see him creating a player into something that they probably shouldn't be. And that's a problem with Edmonton. It's been a problem with Edmonton. It's like it's Draisaitl and it's McDavid. And then there's really no one else. I mean, Nugent Hopkins maybe, but he's, sometimes second-line center or whatever. But...
And also no goaltending.
Just something I was thinking about. Well, obviously we can go through their other problems, but
I'm looking some stats up real quick. So McDavid and this is just 1 year, but in 2015-2016 when Patrick Maroon came over from the Ducks, Patty Maroon netted 27 goals and 42 points total that year with McDavid as a center. Plus another 3 goals, 8 points in the playoffs. It seemed, I guess they had pretty good, chemistry where Maroon was the Kunitz to McDavid's Crosby. 27 goals, I mean, for Patty Maroon is a pretty good achievement.
He's not even coming close to that nowadays.
No,
but he's also, the player that he's a different type of player, and he benefited from just crashing that net, big body in front. Power play also.
Yeah. But if you look at his line mates, right? It's been Ty Ratty, it's been Mark Letestu, it's been Jesse Puljujarvi, who's had a really bad start to his career. I know that when he is with Draisaitl, they feed off each other very well. He's also been skating I
don't think he makes Draisaitl better, though.
No, but I think they both
good on his own.
They both play each other well. I know he's played with Nugent Hopkins. I know Nuge is pretty good on his own right, but I feel like he's been pretty effective.
Melvin agrees with me. I don't know if you hear him.
I can hear it.
Yeah, he's telling shut your mouth, Dean.
I agree with Steve.
Say it again. Do you agree with me?
I'm just trying to see if I guess we'd have to look at stats and guys, players and stuff. But the guy continually gets. I know assists aren't the biggest thing because you can get secondary assists. But if you're looking at just his career, right, he had 70 assists in 2016-17. He had 67, 75, 63, 72 last season.
I know his point totals. I'm not talking about his point totals. I'm talking about elevating another player's game while being on his line. That's what I'm talking about.
Who's supposed to be on the top line with him this year?
From what I saw, it's Zach Hyman, and Jesse Puljujarvi.
All right, so maybe Hyman could have a pretty big season. You never know, but I don't know. The last couple of years, it's been whoever they've been putting on that top line. You've been thinking oh, maybe they'll have a big year this year, and it doesn't happen.
Yeah, it's okay, let's put on McDavid's line mate because, like I said, he's bound to get points by osmosis, and it doesn't happen. And he gets a lot of power play points too. So
yeah.
Anywho, next topic. That was just something.
Yeah, next topic. But he has. I was going to say a lot of his line mates have been guys like Zach Kazin, Milan Lucic, and Patrick Maroon. So you're not exactly giving him tremendous talent.
They want to put that big guy on there, and see, try to replicate what Pat Maroon did with a Cassian or a Lucic, and both of those guys are not good.
So we talked about Crosby skating. Keith Yandel's quarterbacking the Flyers' top power play. So we'll see how that goes.
Okay.
I like Keith Yandel, but that team. And what's funny is these guys that I thought hated Vigneault in Kevin Hayes, Keith Yandel, they went back and they're playing with this guy. So maybe they just hated the organization when they were at the Rangers, and that was the reason. But guys that had seemingly big issues with the coach, they're going back to him. So Doug Armstrong signed a 5-year extension. Then he ships out Zach Sanford to Ottawa. Tuukka is rehabbing with the Bruins. So he'll be still be in the cards.
Mm-hmm.
Jack Eichel is willing to go anywhere to leave the Sabres after failing his physical and being stripped of his captaincy. So do we want to talk about this a little bit? So obviously he had the physical for the team.
Beating a dead horse at this point.
Yeah, I know. He had the physical with the team. He failed it, I'm assuming, because of his neck. and they stripped him for his captaincy. And I know there were a lot of people putting out bad fake quotes and stuff for Eichel, but we know one of those people. But I just think that they're obviously digging the hole even deeper, both sides. And I was listening to Elliot Friedman today, and he was talking about how he just thinks that the Sabres need to go and release the medical records to every single team, because not every team's seen these medical records, and they need to, the NHL, he thinks they need to step in and kind of, be a mediator, because these two are just at each other's throats, it seems like now, and it's going to, you have one of the most talented players in the league, a top 10 player when healthy, and you're not going to watch him play, and he might have to sit out a whole season because of, this whole issue, and it seems very counterintuitive for a league to prop up its stars and have one of its bigger ones just sitting on the shelf.
Well, the league, I don't think the league doesn't involve itself in things like this, but yeah, maybe they will.
I think they should.
If they're going to have him
at this point
not play, it's just because there's these differences. One side doesn't want to bend because they're just like, they hold all the power. They don't care if he doesn't play for them again. They're not going to trade him until they get exactly what they want. And what they want is entirely too much.
And also to that, what they want, I don't think they can get just because the fact of he's injured. And you're not going to get that for a player that teams don't know, what the status is.
We have
injury.
no idea what timetable, right? And, he wants this surgery that's never been done on a hockey player before. So that's obviously, you got to be worried about that. How's the recovery going to be? He's still young, so there's promise, but he could be just a shell of the player that he used to be if he comes back, and he could, try to come back and then realize that he can't play anymore. I hope not. I hope it's a reasonably routine procedure and timeline. But who know? We have no idea how long it's going to be until he can play. If he's going to get surgery, what's the timetable before he comes back? If he gets that neck surgery, does he come back this season? I don't know how. You saw Peyton Manning. Granted, football is a different beast, but and that's huge for the U.S.
Yeah, USA. Yeah, it's a big hit.
He's, arguably one of their best forwards, if not the best.
Yeah. Matthews.
Anyway,
is one, but yeah.
Well, Matthews and Matthews and him together would be friggin' ridiculous. I'd love to watch that.
You want to split the centers, right? I think you put Matthews with Kane, and someone like a Kachuk or whoever you want to put there, right? I think that would be a really cool thing to put together. But anyways, we'll talk about the Olympics more because we had a cougher. One last thing. She dropped the room. One last thing. I know it's just a clam.
She don't want to get her pooty.
She also went to the bathroom, and it does not smell very good, so that's fantastic.
Blame it on
one
the
last
baby.
thing on Eichel. And
daughter like father.
Yep, exactly. One last thing about Eichel, and Freeman made this point, that he got injured playing hockey. It's not like he got injured in the offseason and did something stupid. He got injured on a bullshit hit by Casey Cizikas against the boards where his neck, where his head went into the glass. And, he got hurt playing hockey. So, the Sabres, they really should make this as easy as possible on the player to either get shipped out.
Oh, you'd think you'd take care of your captain / best player / franchise.
Yep.
To begin with, it's gotten to the point where, if he was treated fine medically, would all of this fiasco be going down? Maybe they would want to move him anyway just because, they want to better their team, but obviously he's upset because he wanted to be treated in a certain way and wasn't, and now he's handcuffed.
Yeah, he wanted the surgery and he couldn't get it. Okay, so a couple other little things before we have our previews. The Rangers retiring Hank's number, Henrik Lundqvist, on January 28th. My brother's already upset because apparently he had bought tickets and then the guy said never mind because he got a better offer. So,
wow,
poor AJ. Adidas jerseys the NHL Adidas jerseys will debut October 12th. So
very cool.
Looking at, pretty exciting.
Made from 50% recycled plastic, right?
Yeah.
They're trying to. Oh, your boy just got in, Dean.
What boy?
Lindbergh is in goal.
Oh yeah.
Just got in, yeah.
Yeah, I have not watched. I don't have the Rangers on the TV.
This has
Cannot see it
I was able. I thought it was going to be blacked out, but they you can stream this. I'm watching the Penguins preseason against Columbus, and streaming it from my phone to my TV. So yeah, he just got in.
Pretty cool.
Oh, there's UMass helmet.
The all or nothing the all or nothing Toronto Maple Leafs debut preview show was on this past weekend, and it's got rave reviews. Apparently there's a lot of people thinking that this could be a normal occurrence and that they're gonna do this every year, so that'd be pretty exciting.
That'd be cool.
Lastly, a funny thing on Twitter, so I don't know if you guys saw, but a bunch of murder hornets killed some penguins in I guess South America or whatever. They were rare penguins, and murder hornets destroyed them. So a couple of funny Twitter comments were Sidney Crosby, rest in peace.
Wow.
So I thought that was pretty funny, but whatever. Steve apparently did not think that was funny.
I mean, it's
right.
kind of funny, I guess. It's not that funny. It's kind of funny.
It's murder hornets kill penguins.
It's a fine joke, yeah.
Underneath it, Sidney Crosby, rest in peace. Anyways, top rookies for the 2021 season. So I wanted to do some quick prospect, names that you guys thought might be able to really show their team, what they're capable of. My number one on the list was Cole Caulfield, Montreal, obviously a winger. He came back with the Habs late last season, had 4 goals, 5 points in 10 games, then dressed for the final 20 playoff games, finishing with 12 points, 4 goals. Could he be a 25 to 30 goal guy this year? What do you guys think?
I think he can get 20. I don't know if excuse me. I don't know if he's getting 25 or 30. I think he can maybe crack 20. He's probably already their best pure goal scorer that they have on the team right now.
I think that's not even a
Toffoli's pretty good too.
Toffoli's good.
Toffoli, but pure goal scorer.
Like Hoffman too, right?
Yeah, Toffoli only scores goals.
Yeah, they signed Hoffman. Yeah, Hoffman.
Stan Hoffman does nothing but score goals too.
So I don't know, but I don't know. I could see
pretty good.
I could see him scoring 20.
Yeah. My second on the list was Trevor Zegers from Anaheim. Obviously, they're going to run their power play through this guy on the half wall. He was the MVP of the 2021 IIHF World Junior Championship. He played 24 games for Anaheim last season. He had 10 assists, 13 points, plus 6. I have him as probably on one of their top line guys, if not, second line center. I know Anaheim is under rebuild, and they have some talent
quite bad also
on the wings. But yeah, I think he gets a lot of play, and I think it could be a 40 to 50 point guy.
Yeah, he'll have a big jump this year.
The team itself needs to start scoring, because were they one of, if not the lowest scoring team in the league last year?
Yeah, they were, I think,
probably
one of the worst, if not the worst.
Yeah, I mean, so if they can start producing some goals, then yeah, maybe he can put up some points. But yeah, he'll be. I mean, he'll be one of the main catalysts of that offense. So
he'll be one of the top scorers in that team easily next year.
Yep. All right, one of the
Calder
guys
trophy race is going to be weird.
Yeah, I mean, this guy I think might be in the lead. Spencer Knight, Florida goaltender. He's clearly the best goaltender in the Panthers organization.
Depends how much he plays.
Yeah, that's what I was to say. The issue for Knight is that Sergei Bobrovsky, or really his contract is being the issue.
Yeah,
is still around. He has 10 million per season through 25-26. That is atrocious. Bobrovsky's salary will likely create an interesting dynamic because Joel Coinville is going to be handcuffed with this thing. I think Knight deserves the number 1 spot, but we'll see what happens with him this season.
Until they trade,
he's
Bobrovsky to
definitely
Arizona.
He's definitely going to be the best rookie goalie. But then again, I don't know what other rookie goalies will be in the league next season.
I don't think any Ranger rookie. I was thinking about maybe one of the prospects, but I don't think they'll trade.
What about Nils? No Nils?
Well, Nils is defenseman, right? You think you meant goaltenders?
Yeah. No, I'm just talking about in the Calder race.
So for Florida, Anton Lundell, he's more of a number 2 center, but I think they have too much talent for him to really be a big factor. Alex Newhook from Colorado, same thing. I do have Nils Lundqvist. Obviously, they bring over Patrick Nemeth in free agency, the former Swede or fellow Swede, I guess to kind of ease Lundqvist's transition. I think that he's going to play with Nemeth on the third pair, and he'll probably also run the number 2 power play unit. So I could see him getting a decent amount of points. Also have Vitaly Kravtsov, Ranger. He was playing for the Rangers a little bit last year, but he'll also be a rookie this year. If Ryan Reeves has anything to say with it, maybe Kravtsov will be a good fighter in the league. So Shane Pinto, Bowen Byram, Vasily Podkolzin, Jamie Drysdale. Any ones you guys think? Any ones I'm missing?
I don't think so, to be honest. I know no one from this draft is playing, so
very true.
They're out of the question.
All right,
so it's all prospects from previous drafts.
Yeah, Owen Powers
is weird. I don't know. You always talk about. I feel like every time you talk about the Calder, it's always like the top picks from that year are potential Calder winners before the season starts, and then you have random like Panarins and who's the other one from Chicago? Kubalik, right?
It'll be some random 26-year-old that comes out of nowhere.
Kaprizov last
Possibly.
year.
Just like him. Yeah.
Well, we knew Kaprizov would be because he was that good.
But last year, the top 2 favorites I think were the 2 Rangers guys. It was between the goalie and Alexis Lafreniere. I think they were 1 and 2 in the preseason, rookie rankings, and they were both.
Well, Kaprizov, I was, pretty sure he was. I just didn't know how Lafreniere was. We thought it was going to be Lafreniere just because of his pedigree coming in, but.
Yep.
He just needs to develop, and Kaprizov was awesome.
So a couple team previews. I figured we'd do the Pacific Division this week. So obviously, for everybody that knows, it's back to Central, Pacific, Atlantic, and Metropolitan. Just for everybody's knowledge, Central is Arizona. They shifted over from the Pacific. They joined Chicago, Colorado, Dallas, Minnesota, Nashville, St. Louis, and Winnipeg. In the Pacific, Seattle joins now, so it's Anaheim, Calgary, Edmonton, LA Kings, San Jose Sharks, Seattle, Vancouver, and the Vegas Golden Knights. In the Atlantic, you have the normal crew: Boston, Buffalo, Detroit, Florida, Montreal, Ottawa, Tampa Bay, and Toronto. And then the Metro, Carolina is back. You have Columbus, New Jersey, Islanders, Rangers, Philly, Pittsburgh, and the Washington Capitals. You guys excited about these divisions? Going back to last year?
Yeah.
I like it.
Last year's worked out pretty good, but it got a little dull, playing the same teams. I did like the series breakdown where they played each other home and home or whatever, or 2 in the same arena. I did like that. The players
they're going to do more of that.
It's a good idea. I think for the league going forward, but I'm excited to see some West teams and everything else.
I know Vegas is definitely excited to be back in that division.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They're going to run away with that division, no problem. They can fall asleep for the first half of the season, and I think still have enough to win the division easily.
Yep.
I think Seattle's going to make the playoffs for year 1. I think they can. Finish top 3 in that division.
Tom Petrillo, where does Sarah think Eichel is heading? She would most likely say the Rangers. All right, so Pacific Division. Anaheim Ducks, 2020-2021 record of 17-30-9, 43 points. They were 8th in the West, obviously did not make the playoffs. Significant gains and losses. I didn't really think there were many, but strengths, right? So we'll do strengths, we'll do weaknesses, we'll do players to watch. So my strengths on this team: John Gibson, obviously last year posting the 9-19 record with 7 ties, the 298 goals against, the 903. It wasn't great, but that's understandable given the team that's in front of him. He's been a pretty good goaltender in the past, actually one of the top goaltenders in the past, and he's still young enough that he could be a part of the Ducks foundation. They also bring back Ryan Getzlaff, who could provide the younger players with a role model to live up with, and they have Trevor Zegras and some younger guys coming up. Do you guys see any major strengths with this team?
No.
I think it's more the same.
To be the worst in that division last year is
it's bad.
Says something. Yeah, that's it's not promising. When you got to play much stronger team. So I anticipate them being bottom dwellers. If not, I mean, we all got to think Buffalo might be the worst, but Anaheim could be competing for that.
Sorry, JJ.
A lot of teams think that. Yeah, sorry, JJ. A lot of teams do think that the Ducks could be the dark horse in the Eichel sweepstakes. So, I mean, as long as they're not giving up guys like Zegras,
no, they're not giving up Zegras.
Jimmy Drysdale. The weakness, obviously,
Drysdale
lack of
maybe.
offense.
Zegras, no.
Yeah, lack of offense. It's I think Max Comtois with 16 goals and 33 points in 55 games was comfortably won the Ducks scoring race. The Ducks offense was a bit better the next season, especially or should be better next season if Zegras continues to develop. I also have Troy Terry, Ricard Raquel can maybe get some of his former glory back.
Yeah, where did Raquel and Silverberg go? They're just
nowhere.
Was it a fluke? I don't know what happened, but they're right.
Yeah.
Even if those guys have bounce back seasons, I still think they're not going to do any damage in that division.
Yep.
No.
And obviously, player to watch would be Zegras. He's their most interesting player outside of maybe.
I agree.
Outside of maybe John Gibson, but he has the potential to be their pillar for their next successful era. So, I just was looking at lines. They have Getzlaff as the top center. They have Zegras as the number 2. Guys like Adam Henrique as the 4th line center. This is how bad it is.
Yikes.
Yeah, it's not good.
Their defense,
though, still your top center. No.
Yeah,
that's not good. That's not good.
Their defense, though, it's not good, but it's not bad either. Hampus Lindholm and Shattenkirk, Fowler and Josh Manson, and then you have Jacob Larson and Jamie Drysdale. I mean, there's a couple. I've always liked Hampus Lindholm, and I think that Josh Manson's very underrated. But it's not great.
No, you got Drysdale, who's obviously going to be very good, but he's still extremely young. We have mine and Dean's favorite player of all time, Kevin Shattenkirk. Yep. Who's not known for his defensive skills.
Prowess.
Yes.
Well, with the Rangers, he wasn't really known for his offensive prowess either. So.
Unfortunately, that's what you're hoping, but you didn't get that.
Yeah. Oh, man. I liked him so much, and when he came to the Rangers, I was excited, and that did not end very well.
He's a good guy, and that's all you can really say about him, unfortunately.
Next on the list, we're going alphabetical, by the way. Calgary Flames. The record last year, 26, 27, and 3. They're 55 points. They did not make the playoffs. They were 5th in the North. They added Blake Coleman, Nikita Zadorov, and they lost.
What's unfortunate? I'm going to interrupt you right now. I have my AirPlay on because I was streaming the Penguins game.
Okay.
And I put on our podcast to look at Facebook Live to see the comments, and we're on my TV, and I'm deeply upset at this.
We're on TV.
Because Schwim's face is on a 70-inch screen.
All of our faces
and you're
on
the
a
closest one to me.
I like it.
Yeah, all of us.
Yeah, it's not bad. Their strengths, right? Johnny Gaudreau, Elias Lindholm, Matthew Tkachuk. They have a very good forward core if Sean Monahan can bounce back. They have 2 scoring lines that can step up pretty well against, the rest of the NHL. Adding Coleman to deepen a supporting cast, as well as Michael Backlund and Andrew Mangiapane, should round things out. They do have the pieces in place to score a lot of goals, but their weaknesses, right? Their defense is pretty bad. Even with the loss of Mark Giordano, who was 37 years old, and you couldn't, you didn't really know what he was going to bring you. But their top 4 defensemen are now Noah Hanifin, Rasmus Andersson, Chris Tanev, and the newly acquired Nikita Zadorov. It's bad. That's a bad core.
Yeah.
Losing Giordano is huge. I mean, he's
especially in the power play.
But he's that's like a huge leadership hole. Who's that going to be filled by on that team?
Who the heck runs their power play now? Who's their power play quarterback?
It's going to be Hanifin.
That's that's a big jump. They're going to be They're going to be a mediocre to below average team.
Yeah.
Again, they'll be like right outside the bubble of the playoffs and inevitably miss.
Yep.
Miss it.
Player to
like
watch.
Markstrom, though.
I'd say he's my player to watch.
Yep.
You know, he was a big part of what they want to do last season, although they didn't really do much. They have big commitment to him, 6 years.
Both those teams have fantastic goaltenders. Gibson, and Mark, and then the rest of the team is not even close to them, talent-wise.
He's got 5 years left on a $36 million contract. It was a very good deal, and you know, he obviously played a ton. I think he was the second in terms of starts for the season. But yeah, they need a better Markstrom going forward. And I think he knows that as well. And, you know, I could see him as a rebound candidate. And, you know, if they do, that puts them in contention because they are a goaltender. Well, really, they're defensemen, 2 good defensemen away from being good. But, you know, they need help in the net too. That top line is Lindholm, Tkachuk, and Gaudreau. They have Coleman on the second line. I think he's
really like to enunciate the T in Tkachuk.
I thought I said Tkachuk.
With a K.
Yeah,
you like Tkachuk.
I really said that? I said it first. Yeah. I said it right the first time.
You've been saying Tkachuk for weeks, if not months, if not always.
Really? All right, fine. Blake Coleman with Monahan and Dylan Dube. I said Mangiapane. Pretty good.
You did. Schwim was proud.
You did. You had like an Italian little accent with it. I like it.
Yep. Obviously, Markstrom in goal. Number 3 on the list, Edmonton Oilers, 35-19-2, 72 points. They were second in the North, lost 4-0 to the lost 4-0 to the Winnipeg Jets in the first round. Their gain, Zach Hyman, big contract. Cody Ceci, another big contract. Well, actually more on term for Cody Ceci. They also added Warren Fogle and Duncan Keith in a terrible trade. Significant losses. It is a bad trade. Losses, obviously, Dmitry Kulikov, Ethan Bear, and Adam Larson. Their strengths. I mean, there's no doubting this. It's Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl, and that's it.
Yep.
That's it. You know, it is. It's really it. McDavid was the unanimous winner of the 2021 Hart with 33 goals, 105 points, and 56 games, a 1.88 points per game. Sorry, hiccups. Only 19 other people in the league recorded at least 53 points. McDavid at least doubled the point total of each player with the exception of 19 players. That's ridiculous.
Canada division.
I know. It was Canada. Fine. Steve's going to kill it. That's fine. You know,
garbage division.
Draisaitl was the only one that actually came close to him. He had 31 goals, 84 points in 56 games.
That was literally the worst division in the history of divisions.
Yeah, but I told
history.
Even taking out Ottawa and who was the other team we said? It was Ottawa and there were 2 teams that were
all of them.
Was it just Ottawa?
All of them. Doesn't matter.
Right, well, just taking out Ottawa, he still comfortably destroyed everybody in points. He finished second. Draisaitl obviously finished second, 15 points from the third place Brad Marchand. Their weaknesses, their defense is terrible. Darnell Nurse is a good blue liner, got way overpaid. They have Duncan Keith, Tyson Barrie, Cody Ceci as their top 4.
Darnell Nurse's contract is
that's ridiculous.
Yikes!
It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
and he's not even like he's he's probably their best defender on the team, but it's out of control. Like there's no way he should be paid the way he's being paid.
They give up a 3rd-round pick and a decent prospect in Caleb Jones, for Duncan Keith, or the ghost of Duncan Keith. Tyson Barrie, who comfortably led the league for defensive points. A lot of people actually say that McDavid and Draisaitl were better with him off the ice. And then obviously Cody Ceci, who Steve knows all too well. I think he had a pretty decent year last year, right?
He's solid, yeah. He had a great. He was probably Pittsburgh's best defensive defenseman.
Yeah, and he turned it into a multi-year extension, which
I
didn't think the
good for him.
Been there.
They need all the defense.
I wanted him. I wanted him back, but I don't think I would have given him what Edmonton gave him.
Yep.
But I would like to have him back. He had a great season.
Do we even need to talk about the goaltending of this team? Do we have to?
Nope.
Well,
nope. We don't.
That is my X factor. The player to watch. While the Oilers have some big questions on defense, the key to their season will be Mike Smith.
I don't even like this team. and I'm getting annoyed by their goaltending. Like, I'm like, I don't even care about this damn team, and their goaltending year after year just irritates the crap out of me.
It's confusing.
It makes no sense.
Facebook Live saying that Steve just wanted to brag about the size of his TV.
Yeah, that's all. I'm not proud of the size at this point because I got to look at all these mugs.
So Mike Smith last year, 21-6-2 record, a .231 goals against, .923 save percentage in 32 games. He's also 40. Between him and Koskinen, they brought him back again, and
I'm speechless. I don't know.
I could see them trading.
This is Koskinen's last year, right?
Season. Yeah.
They could have bought him out, and probably nobody would have signed him anyway.
Better. Any goaltending tandem would have been better what they have here.
Isn't there? There's got to be a free agent goaltender that's out there right now that would be. Way better than what they have.
I would have taken Elliott.
No, is Dubnyk? No, is Dubnyk still around?
No,
I wish
he was signed. Was he?
I wish Jimmy Howard didn't retire. I would like to see him go there.
Jimmy Howard. Jimmy Howard would have been a good one.
I think he would have been way better.
Dubnyk is always free agent.
He's still free agent?
Yeah, I don't see him as. Yeah, because Colorado was his last team. Yeah, I mean he's definitely better than Koskinen, I think. I don't think he'd ever go back there, but so Mike Smith is their player to watch because he stinks, and that's going to be the downfall. They have McDavid skating with Hyman and Pujärvi. Obviously, Hyman with a big contract. He had a very good year last year, but they also overpaid for him. They have Draisaitl with Nuge and Kala Yamamoto.
What was that?
So that'll Kala Yamamoto. I know. I
sound like
I think it was one word, but just
it's Yamamoto.
A lot of syllables.
It's kind of almost sounds like you said Yamamoto.
Yeah,
he's a very delicious player.
They have Turris on the third line with Kazhin and Warren Fogle.
Everyone's saying he's a big X factor for that team.
Turris?
Fogle?
No, Warren Fogle.
Yeah.
I like Fogle.
I do too.
I mean, I thought he was good in
Carolina,
but it's a different team, so we'll see.
They obviously dealt in Ethan Bear for Fogle, I think it was. So
I like Ethan Bear too.
I do too. That was a big mistake getting rid of him.
Probably more. I probably think I like him more than Fogle.
I like Evan Bouchard as a sixth defenseman, but Chris Russell is still around, and he's terrible as well. All right, LA Kings, 2021 record, 21-28-7, 49 points, did not make it. We're sixth in the West. They gained Philip Deneau on a big-time contract to be their second-line center, Alex Edler to be a top-pairing defenseman and for 1 year, and Victor Arvidsson. I liked Victor Arvidsson. They got a good steal on him. They have a really good group of prospects. That's one of their big strengths, right? Quinn Byfield, Alex Turcotte.
They have some of the best prospects.
Tobias Bjornfoot, Mikey Anderson.
They need to pan out, though.
Yeah, I know. Arthur Kaliev.
I feel like maybe we should have seen some by now.
Yeah.
I mean, let them develop. Yes, I agree with that, but I don't know. It worries me that they might be overhyped.
A little bit of Byfield at the end of the season. I think it was 7 or 8 games. But yeah, they also got Brant Clark with the 8th pick in the 2021 draft. But yeah,
if all their prospects actually pan out to be pretty good, this team will.
They're going to be good.
Yeah.
Really good.
Yep.
Stacked.
Yeah, obviously their weakness is if those prospects don't pan out, they have
then they're screwed. But
a really bad season.
You gotta hope maybe at least a couple of them become really, really good players. If they can hit on maybe half of them, they have at least 5 or 6 stud prospects in their friggin' in their pipeline. If they can hit on
obviously
at least half of them, I think they're going to be a really, really good team.
Absolutely. Obviously, their captain. Their captain Andrei Kopitar. One of the cornerstones, 34 years old, had a rejuvenated year last year. Dustin Brown, 39 years old, had a good year. I don't think they'll get that back again, but the risk of them regressing goes up every passing year. You look at the defense too, and you have guys like Drew Doughty, who's, very much fallen off. They have Matt Waugh, or is it Roy? I don't know. Alex Edler, Sean Walker, Michael Anderson. Is it Roy or Waugh? Do you guys know what this one is?
I actually don't,
No.
but I'm still laughing at the
I don't either.
concept
I'll take a Roy.
of you're probably saying the wrong one.
Yeah. Right, so you got that top line still kind of the same. Alex Iafallo, Anže Kopitar, Dustin Brown.
I like Iafallo.
Yep. You have Deneau skating with Arvidsson, and also Adrian Kempe. You have Anthony Ciu as the third line left winger with Gabriel Velarde, another younger player that they're pretty excited about.
See, I mean, is that what third line has become? Because Anthony Ciu should absolutely, he needs to be either top six or not at all, basically.
Well, no, a lot of people, right, have taken third wing. So right now your fourth line is really what your third line used to be. It's a checking line, and now I've seen a lot of teams have that third line as someone that you would just start an offensive
third
zone.
line.
Yeah, as offensive.
But also,
zone,
I mean, Anthony Ciu is also he's horrible defensively.
Yeah, no, bad.
Just miserable. So it's just I don't see him as a third. I don't know. We'll see. I guess maybe he'll work his way up the roster, but I just feel like it's a waste. Either try him in top six or.
Yeah, one of their big guns, Brennan Lemieux, fourth line winger, left winger. So, one of the positives I think as well that I didn't get to, their goaltenders. I mean, I know Quick did not have a very good year. He had a bunch of wins, but for his games played, but he wasn't very good last year. But Cal Pedersen, I think one of the better younger goalies in the league and someone that could step up and be a number one.
He's another guy who needs to grow and develop with the team, with all those other prospects that they have. Like this, honestly, this team could be sick. They could have Peterson as like a stud goalie. They could have all these other guys who's the damn defenseman that they got? Byfield. Byfield being their new
center.
Byfield's the center. Who's the defenseman?
Bjornfoot.
That's the guy I'm thinking of. Bjornfoot. I'm sorry. Him being like their new stud defenseman, and then they have all these forward prospects. I don't know. Are they going into the season as Peterson being like their starter now, or are they still splitting him and Quick?
So. No, I think he's their number one.
He's taking over now.
Yeah, at least he's supposed to. We'll see what happens. As long as he can handle it.
I wonder if they try to maybe ship Quick out to acquire something for him.
Pittsburgh to.
Why not?
Ship him to Edmonton.
Nah, screw Edmonton.
That would be good.
All right, next up on the list, San Jose Sharks, 49 points, seventh in the West, did not make the playoffs. Their gains, Nick Bonino is third-line center, James Reimer, Aiden Hill, they got both their goaltenders. I do like Aiden Hill, but James Reimer...
To me, they're both backup goalies. Neither of them are starters.
Yeah, I know that Aiden Hill hasn't really gotten a chance, so I'd like to see what he could do, but yeah, I mean, it's not...
He's not San Jose.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know how much damage you're going to do.
I guess, does Martin Jones leaving count as a loss?
No.
Yeah. I guess Jones's departure could easily count as the biggest gain for them, right? Maybe he'll turn his career around in Philly, but Jones, was 304 goals against, the 896 save percentage over the last 3 years. Reimer and Hill obviously are a much better tandem. And I think they're talking about Hill being the guy that they kind of lean on to start the season.
He should be their starter, but again, I don't think he's really like a bona fide number one starter in this league yet. He's going to be on a rebuilding San Jose team. That's tough for any goaltender, especially him who doesn't have that much experience. I mean, I don't know. All these teams that we just talked about, honestly, and I said it before, I think Seattle can beat all of these teams. I think Seattle can come out of the division, honestly. Not winning the division, I think they can make it.
Seattle could also be just as bad as these teams.
Yeah.
But,
I think they can
home crowd, that could be an advantage because, you got
the crowd,
new team excitement. Yeah, the crowd and for, the bad California teams.
Yeah, I think they'll finish top three. Saying it.
All right,
Schwim's
bold prediction. All right.
There it is. I'm saying it right now. And Mike Smith will turn the puck over. That will lead to a goal.
Is San Jose's weakness basically their entire franchise? I mean, they finished 25th in the NHL with 2.61 goals per game, and their best forward in 2021, Evander Kane, had a terrible offseason with the betting allegations and now domestic violence.
Well, he's not welcome at their training camp currently.
He's gone. There's no way.
The Sharks locker room situation could be a huge headache if he's not removed, which I guess he is going to be. Brent Burns is 36 years old. He's one of the worst cap hits. Erik Karlsson, same thing. Mark-Edward Vlasic, 34, also.
Those 3 contracts.
He has Vlasic has 5 seasons left at $7 million per.
Mm-hmm.
That's nuts.
And he's 30. GM would do something like that, but I guess Karlsson being the youngest at 31.
His first 2 seasons under that contract he did very well.
Yeah.
But just now it's a nightmare.
Now with the state of the team, it's a big red flag.
I think
all right, so
the downfall of this team all comes down to the Karlsson trade.
Yeah. They didn't
Everything
really give up that
just
much,
went
though.
straight down the toilet. Well, I mean, the pick, right?
Well,
That's huge.
that was unfortunate, right? They weren't supposed to be a top 2 pick. They were supposed to be.
But they were terrible.
Playoff team. No, yeah, well,
but they weren't. They were awful. So
at the time of the trade, it was not that bad.
I guess.
Here, I'm just going to the.
Well, you thought it would be more, and it just, wasn't.
Yeah. So the entire trade this is at the time, right, for the 2-time Norris winner, was Chris Tierney, Rudolph Balcers, defenseman Dylan DeMello, the rights to Josh Norris, who actually is a very good player for them, a first-round pick in 2019 or 2020, and then the second-round pick in the 2019 draft. So that 2019 obviously turned into the second overall pick, where they get Brady. Was that Brady Tkachuk? Oh, it was Stutzla.
Or was it Stutzla?
I can't remember which one they took. Anyways, so at the time it wasn't a bad deal, but yes, it's turned out to be a very, very bad deal. Going back to this real quickly.
And then signing him to that contract.
Yeah, and then signing him. All right, so Burns,
that might have been worse.
Burns, $8 million for the next 4 years. Vlasic, $7 million for the next 5, and then Karlsson, $11.5 million for the next 6 years.
Ugh.
Forever.
For 3 defensemen.
Yeah.
No.
Wow. I don't even know who the player to watch is. I mean, who would you want to watch on this team?
No one.
No one?
I'm turning it off.
I don't know.
No players to watch.
Maybe if their mascot plays a game or something, that would be kind of cool to see.
I mean, I guess Logan Couture, right? I like Logan Couture, but he's also overpaid, and he's going to be UFA. Logan Couture is another $8 million until 2027. Timo Myers been injury plagued. Kevin LeBlanc got paid, but he had a pretty good year 2 years ago. Looking at this list, Barabanov.
Who'd they sign in the offseason?
Nick Bonino, third line center.
That was their big signing.
Yeah.
All right.
They got Rudolph Balcers back. He's their left winger.
Nice.
If Andrew Cogliano. Yeah, this is really bad. Andrew Cogliano.
I'll stick with Bonino, just so you can say Bonino 3 times real fast.
Bonino.
Yes.
Mario Ferraro, former UMass defenseman, is their top pair.
Get the hell out of here.
Oh, man. Yeah, he is. It's supposed to be him and Brent Burns. I guess they were the tandem last year. All right, so let's get to the most interesting team of the bunch, Seattle Kraken. Obviously, no record last year, no results last year. They're the new team. They're significant gains. How about just the team itself? Right, that's pretty significant. I guess they, significant losses. They did technically lose Vitek Vanacek.
Technically,
but they got a second-round pick for him, so I guess that's pretty good. Their strengths, right? It's going to be hard to score against them. They assembled a defensive group that includes 6'3" Adam Larson, 6'4" Hayden Fleury, 6'5" Carson Soucy, 6'7" Jamie Alexiak.
Soucy, I like.
Hard to play against. Philip Grubauer, Chris Drieger, very good goaltending duo.
Giordano
was play physical,
one of the leaders,
and frustrating. But I think their weakness is they're going to have a lot of 2-1 games, 3-2 games. Jaden Schwartz is probably their best goal scorer. Their best overall players, Jordan Eberle. Jared McCann could have a career year. I know Steve was kind of upset to get rid of him. Donskoy is, very streaky. So if he has something good in him, maybe Alex Wemberg, can develop into a solid two-way center. And Yanni Gord, he's going to be their top guy while he's when
he gets back from injury,
be out for a little bit. Yeah.
They're going to need to win like a lot of 2-1 and 3-1 games to be in the mix at the end of the season. So I mean, they're not going to be outscoring teams. That's for damn sure.
Elliot Friedman said this, and I actually kind of I like what he said. He said that this team has to have career years from every single player they got in order to be the Vegas Golden Knights, and that's kind of what Vegas had that first year, right?
They had a ton of surprises.
Marchessault, William Karlsson, Riley Smith.
Mm-hmm. James Neal did really well also. Wasn't career year, but
Shea Theodore's first year, right? He did really well too.
I think Fleury might have had the best statistical
he was really good.
season.
Yeah.
Lindbergh just got scored on.
All right, who's your favorite player to watch on this team?
I think the shots in this preseason game are somewhere around like 50-3, and Pittsburgh's losing 2-0.
Nice.
I'm exaggerating, but it's something like that.
It's exciting.
What'd you say? Player to watch? My pick.
Yes, I do. Jared McCann.
Brandon Tanev.
Oh, Tanev. All right, fine. Not Jared McCann.
Because he is always a
I just want his player profile picture up on the big screen at all times. That's all I want to see.
As do I.
That third line, Tanev, Morgan Geekie, and Mason Appleton. That's not bad. So
I want to see. I want to see my boy Yanni when he comes back. I want to see him how he does over there.
I mean, because it's going to bump everybody down the slot, which is good. Wenberg would be a second line center. You'd have Yarncroc would be able to go a little further down the rankings. Colin Blackwell, fourth line right winger. Looking pretty good.
That kid Susie that they got from Minnesota. I think he's going to be really good for them. I want to see how. Yeah. I'm interested to see how he does.
Yeah, Susie, Hayden Fleury. I like that.
Much bigger role.
Yeah, I like Vince Dunn. I think he's going to be a very good power play quarterback.
I like Dunn too.
And then they got Adam Larson, obviously.
That's why I think this team could easily finish ahead of Los Angeles, San Jose, Anaheim, there. Those three teams.
Well, if their forwards, like Dean said, have career years, then yes. I feel like they almost will, just based on the opportunities they're going to get.
I mean, McCann probably will have a very good opportunity to be one of their leading goal scorers.
Let's take a bet right now.
Let's be the top guy.
Let's take a bet right now. Who's scoring the first ever Seattle Kraken, regulation goal? Who's scoring the first ever?
I'm going Colin Blackwell.
Colin Blackwell. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's always someone terrible, or at least
I'm going to say it's Brandon Tanev.
Who's the first ever person?
Damn, I can't pick Yanni Gord. We all can't pick former players. This is BS.
Riley Smith?
First ever Vegas.
Wasn't it Riley Smith?
Golden.
No. The first ever goal? Was it Riley Smith? It might have been.
Thomas Neal.
James Neal.
James Neal? No.
It says the Golden Knights jumped out fast after an emotional pregame series. Thomas Neal scores .231 in the game for the franchise.
I don't even know who Thomas Neal is. That's not a person.
Neal?
That's not a person.
Oh, Tomas Nosek.
Oh, Nosek. Oh, okay.
Nosek?
Yeah, if you type in on Google, it says Tomas Neal, and it says he scored the first goal, and then on the NBC Sports says Golden Knights Tomas Nosek scores franchise's first goal.
You're on ESPN, and they don't do hockey.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
That's on. That's on ESPN. Neal who scored the first goal in Vegas Golden Knights history? It is James Neal, but that was a away game, so that's what they said in Nosek. Okay, Steve was right. Don't doubt Steve.
I'm going with a defenseman as their first goal ever. One of their D guys. I'll go my boy Susie. Why not?
Esteban,
did you say my pick?
You said
right.
Brandon
Tanev. I'm going to go Carson. All right. Carson Soucy.
Vancouver Canucks, 50 points, did not make the playoffs, 7th in the North. They got Jarl Halak to back up. Excuse me. To be back up Connor Garland, who I think is a very good ad for them, although they give a first-round pick. They got OEL, Oliver Ekman-Larsson, and then you got Jason Dickinson. Losses, Alex Edler, Brandon Holtby, who goes down to Stars. Nate Schmidt and Louis Eriksson. Vancouver ranked 24th offensively. Their top two lines were their biggest asset. Pedersen was out for more than half the campaign due to injury, but
and he's still unsigned,
Garland,
right?
Yeah. Him, Garland, Hoglander. Yeah, him and Quinn Hughes are both
and
still
Quinn,
unsigned.
That's right.
The Canucks are looking strong up front. Vasily Podkolzin, he's come over from the KHL. He's going to look like a top 6 role guy in the future. Weaknesses, OEL could be huge for Vancouver, but he's been terrible defensively the last few years.
Well, look at the team he's been on.
Yeah, I know.
He's done a better team, so I think he'll be at least a little bit better.
But defensively, you're looking at, him, Quinn Hughes. This team's not good defensively. Maybe offensive defensively, but not just defensive responsibility. Podkolzin comes in as my player to watch. He had in St. Petersburg in Russia, he had a pretty good season for a 19-year-old. Top 10 pick. They have JT Miller still. They have Brock Besser, our boy, podcast favorite. That's a pretty good one line. That second line, Horvat, who I was hoping the Rangers would have gotten for Pavel Buchnevich instead of stupid Sammy Blais.
They tried. You got to give them credit. They tried.
Tanner Pearson, Connor Garland on that second line. You have the rookies, Hoglander and Podkolzin on that third line with Jason Dickinson. Quinn Hughes, Tyler Myers. I know that one of the big things with Quinn Hughes last year was losing Chris Tanev to Calgary. I know that Tyler Myers was kind of a fill-in and he's been okay, but I do think that Quinn Hughes had a safety blanket that was taken away from him. OEL, Travis Hamonic, who now might retire or sit out the season. That's the rumors. They have Oli Uolivi and Tucker Pullman at that 5-6 spot, and then Thatcher Demko and Jarl Halak. Anything you guys want to share? Yeah, it's not bad.
He's my player to watch, Demko.
Demko, yeah.
I made a horrible prediction for Vancouver last season, and I'm not going to do the same thing again.
We all thought they would be pretty good last year, and
I think Steve said Cup final, or did you say Stanley Cup winner?
I had him winning.
Yeah.
And I had Thatcher Demko as the Conn Smythe.
Yeah, that's real bad.
Yep.
Yeah, well, that's why people
don't trust our opinion.
Yep, can't win them all.
Yeah, I'm real bad at predicting things.
We got to do that right before the season again.
Yeah, no, I have it up on here. Don't worry.
Keep track.
All right. Yep. Vegas Golden Knights, the last team on the list, 40-14-2, 82 points. They were second in the West, lost to the Canadiens in the semis. They got significant gains, Laurent Brisebois. They have Evgeny Dadonov and Nolan Patrick. They did lose Marc-Andre Fleury and Cody Glass. Strengths, right? Their offensive game is very good. Mark Stone, Max Pacioretty, Jonathan Marchessault, Carlson, Chandler Stevenson, Alex Tuck. Dadonov is risky, but he has promise, and I think he get 25 goals with this team. I guess Nolan Patrick is more of an X factor, and he's an interesting one. Obviously, a second overall pick in 2017. He didn't really work out with Philly, but I could see him having
a pretty good year.
A big year as the third line center. Yeah,
I feel bad for the kid.
Yeah, I do too. And obviously, something was going on with Cody Glass where they weren't really fond of him. He didn't get much of a chance there, and they turned him in the asset into Nolan Patrick. Their weaknesses, right? I don't see many glaring ones. Their offense is deep. Their defense is capable. Petrangelo, Shea Theodore, Alec Martinez, Braden McNabb. Obviously, losing Marc-Andre Fleury, I guess the weakness would be.
I think it's a big loss.
All of a sudden, goalie depth becomes their weakness when it was their major strength.
Leonard gets hurt, that's trouble.
Yeah, Laurent,
which is almost
Laurent
like
Brossoit
inevitable because he gets hurt every year.
Yeah. Do you think that Robin Lehner can take this lead and bring this team to a cup? Maybe not win it, but do you think he can get them there?
I think he definitely can.
I don't think they go to the cup, though.
I don't think they will, but I think he's definitely capable of leading a team.
Yeah, he's capable of being the guy. Yeah, he's capable of being the. But I mean, when's the last time we saw him as the? Because you saw him split time in the Islanders. He split time with Chicago, right? And now then he split time with Vegas. So now he's gonna, take the reins.
You're talking about Leonard?
70-30? Yeah.
Easily. Yeah.
Yeah. Right before he went to
him
Vegas.
and Corey Crawford.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. He's been I remember Buffalo and where the hell else was he?
He went to the Islanders and then he went to Chicago.
He's been, I guess, in too many places the last few years. I can't keep track of all this crap. Dean Freeze? Or is he just really annoyed at us?
He's frozen.
He's so mad at us now.
He's too preemptive in our sign-off.
Oh, my God.
He's doing it perfectly, though.
He's doing a pretty good job.
We're talking about Vegas?
Yeah.
This is like that in what do you call it? Major League, when Bob Uecker gets too drunk and passes out.
What's that guy's name that took over for him?
I don't
Donnie?
remember.
I think it was Donnie or something like that.
But we're signing off. So
Fly
Schwim,
ball caught. We're signing off.
Schwim, why don't you take it away, Schwim?
Ready? Everybody?
Don't get eliminated.
eliminated.
Oh, F this crap.